Hey everyone, welcome back to XVolt Extras, and hey, it's been a while. It's been a month since I last posted here. I'm really sorry. April's been a really busy month for me with school. A lot of AP review stuff. In fact, I have my AP exams the week after this video comes out, so I probably won't post again for a little while. But I'll figure something out. I promise you that. But I wanted to talk about something today. Something in the spirit of the channel, and that is the great laptop craze of 2023, technically also into 2024 because it's already ended. But basically what this is so I used to have only one laptop, right? I had an Asus X55 0ZA, which I used to make all of my videos from 2016, because I got it in 2015, and I used that all the way up until the end of 2018 when I upgraded to this PC. Now, I still used the that Asus laptop for a couple more years because, you know, when I would go away from my house, I needed a laptop in order to do work or computer stuff in general. I mostly used it when I went to my dad's house until I got a PC over there, so I didn't really need a laptop that much anymore. It's funny how that aged, but anyway. So I continued using that laptop up until around, gotta say 2021, maybe into early 2022 was the last time I really used that laptop for anything. Because that laptop by that point was already about 7 years old, was it? Is that the word? Yeah, about 7 years old. It was really showing its age. No matter what upgrades I did to it, I repasted it. I don't know if I ever repasted it. I may not have, but that might have been the issue. But I upgraded it to an SSD and I put 16 gigs of RAM in it. But the thing was still really slow and it was really bad. It was a mid-range laptop from 2014, so that is probably why. It had like an AMD A10 processor, so it wasn't the greatest, but it worked fine for the first couple of years, as fine as my memory is. But this whole thing kind of started when I got this computer here. Now this is a M1 MacBook Air from 2020. This is still technically not mine. This is actually school assigned. Wow, you must go to a really wealthy school. Okay, one of the alumni of my high school, in late 2021, had all the students gather up in the field and gave $10 million to the school, and a lot of that went into getting us new devices. Not just M1 MacBooks, but also iPad Air 4s. That's how you say it. And this was basically like my main thing here. I would show you. You can see it's on here, but I don't want to. You know what? See, so I use this for doing all my schoolwork because it's what I need to do. It's still assigned to my school's thing. It's signed in with my school's iCloud account. It's got all stuff from my school, and it even has the little code down here. Now, why is this important? Because when I got this at the start of my junior year in August 2022, it was basically the only laptop I had at that point because the Asus was horrible. And maybe I did keep using the Asus for a while. I don't remember what I did for laptops when I would oh, right. I don't know what I did for the rest of 2022. But basically I would use this for whatever the hell I was doing in school, and then going into the early 2023, I used this to animate the first 6 episodes of my object show because it was a powerful computer. I could take it anywhere. So I used this primarily for animation, and I was able to use it in class without any problem. I'm sure I could have used any other laptop, but this was what I had, and I had access to Adobe Animate 2023, so I just went with it, and I animated with this. So this is mainly just what I used for animation for a little bit of 2023 and December 2022. But then it actually starts with this one here. Now you guys have seen this on the tech channel. I'm not sure if I've showed this on this channel as well. This is an Asus Q550LF from 2013. This used to be my grandfather's laptop here, and it's a pretty good computer. It has a 4th gen i7 and a GTX 745M, so it is pretty good. It is much larger though, as you can see here. Let me close that. It's nothing important, just my to-do list. But yeah, you can kind of tell its age. DVD drive, mini display port. It's got whatever the hell that yellow one is there. I think it's optical audio or something like that, and super speed USB. But it's very old. But I got this in December 2022, like right before Christmas, and I started using it on Windows 7 as my main laptop for doing things. So whenever I wasn't doing anything school related or animation, which I did do some animation on this, I would use this. And this is what I would take around for a little while. See if my memory can even help me with this, but yeah, I use this laptop a lot because it's really powerful. An i7, even from 2013, still pretty good, and this is a very capable laptop running Windows 10. It can't run Windows 11 on the default like requirements because the processor's too old, but I'm sure there's a workaround of that, which I'm not gonna bother because I'm not using Windows anymore except on this PC. So I use that kind of as a main thing for a bit there from December 2022 until about the summer when I got my hands on this in April 2020. This is the mid-2012 MacBook Pro that I have showed in so many videos because honestly I'm very much in love with this laptop. As much as I like to criticize Apple, there's a lot of things about Apple I appreciate, and one of them is the unibody MacBook line. I really like this computer. It's it's really good. But I started using this during the summer for going around places. I did a lot of animation on this laptop. I would take it with me to school during the first half of my senior year. Ow. And I even started using it again kind of recently. But we're not going to get into that yet. But this was my main laptop from maybe about July or maybe June. I think June, July until around November of last year. But yeah, it was a great laptop. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. So after that, I liked using it, but after a while I kind of like, I need a little bit more power. So I got this. By the way, I bought none of these computers. So far they've all been given to me. This one used to be my aunt and uncle's. It's an HP Envy X360 M6 convertible. This laptop sucks. Honestly, it's a consumer HP, so it sucks. If I had an EliteBook, that would be a bit different. But this thing sucks. I used it for 3 months from November to January. I did do some animation on this. In terms of like raw performance, it actually did kind of well. But in usability, this laptop does kind of suck. It does have an M.2 slot, which is massive one up. Screw you, Asus. Thing doesn't have an M.2 slot, only a 2.5 inch. But to be fair, that's from 2013. This is from 2016. So what are my main gripes with this? Well, the fan would be really loud. The hinge is probably my least favorite part. Also, the whole thing with the screen being cracked and destroyed as it always was, and it still is even on this replacement display, and it's only been getting worse as it's been sitting around doing absolutely nothing. The keyboard feels fine, the speakers are alright, but I didn't like using it. The power, there is quite a few things I didn't like about it, but this thing just wasn't for me, and in January I stopped using it, and I actually switched back to the Asus for about a month. So how many laptop switches do we have so far? So my first main so I went from the Asus to the other Asus, and then I'm just going to call it Asus X to Asus Q. I went from Asus X to Asus Q, and then from Asus Q to the MacBook Pro, and then from the MacBook Pro to the HP Envy, and then from the HP Envy back to the Asus Q. Now that's at 5 so far, and we're only in January. It's May. What's changed since then? Well, in mid-February, I switched back to the MacBook Pro because taking around a 15-inch laptop sucks. And especially, I mean, even the Asus Q is bulky. I kind of like bulky laptops. Like this is considered bulky nowadays. I mean, DVD drive, it's got some thickness on it. It's not as thin as even the MacBook Pros today. Um, but I'm not a fan of Apple Silicon. The performance and efficiency is great, but it's not for me. But yeah, the Ace is just becoming too much to carry around in my book bag, which only has so much size. And so I switched back to the MacBook Pro, but instead of running Mac OS, I ran Ubuntu. And I did that for a month. So I technically did switch back to the Asus, but only because I absolutely had to. Because not like a week or so after switching to the MacBook Pro, the hard drive cable died, so I had to order a new one. And then like the week or so after it failed, I was using the Asus for that time, which was really irritating. And then once I got it fixed, I went back to using the MacBook, and then that only lasted another few weeks before before I was talking with some people online, and I was kind of finally like, you know what? I'm gonna make a purchase for the first time. I'm going to buy a laptop for the first time basically since 2015. If you've seen the video on my main channel, you already know what it is. But I wanted to make an investment in a laptop that's going to last me a long time. It's got good performance, good battery life, runs a great operating system, and can do pretty much anything I want it to do. It's the Framework 13, and I've been using this since mid-March, since I got it. It is an amazing laptop so far. Granted, I've only had it for a month and a half, but I'm really in love with it. Running Arch Linux hasn't been a problem. The performance is great. I've edited a few videos on this thing on a Windows 7 virtual machine, and I really love this laptop, and I honestly can't wait for I can wait until the day that I have to get rid of it, or that it just stops working entirely. But my hopes is this thing lasts me into the 2030s. It's a bit of a hope, but given it's a Framework laptop, I think we can do it. So why did I talk about the MacBook Pro earlier, about it coming back? Well, you see, I was having a bit of thought, because, you know, as part of a thing that I do, especially as you can see with the iPhones, that stack of iPhones right there, and also that, I work on Apple devices a lot. I like collecting them. I like working on them. They're great things to work on and fix. They're very familiar to me. And in order for me to work on a lot of these, I have to use Coconut battery in order to check the thing, which is why you have Mac OS, because Mac OS is the only OS that Coconut battery can run on. And also, because I don't iTunes is not a thing on Linux, and having iTunes in my Windows VM just wouldn't really make much sense. I wanted to use this as for a Coconut battery and iTunes sync with my iPod. But then I had a little bit more thinking, and I was kind of like, you know what? What if I use this as a school laptop? For college, strictly for college. I have it running macOS Catalina. I've already installed some things that I would need in college, and I guess that's just what I'm gonna use it for, because, you know, it's great. Oh, and by the way, if any of you watching this saw my latest video on XVolt Tech, you would know that the MacBook Pro has an issue where sometimes it would just glitch out. I fixed it. It's really stupid. Check that out. This is what I did to fix it. I put a Barnes& and Noble gift card underneath the RAM slot, and it fixed the issue. Tech repair is insane sometimes. I don't understand it. Um, but yeah, I'm going to be using this for doing solely university schoolwork. That's it. My framework's going to be for video editing and personal things, um, as is my personal laptop. Because I'd rather keep my personal life and my school life separate, which I guess I've become accustomed to because I've been using a MacBook for school already. So kind of the same. Oh, the logo's upside down. But yeah, so some people might be asking at this point, oh, what the fuck? Why aren't you just gonna use the M1? M1 big strong, M1 big strong. You need the M1. You're already using it for school. Why don't you keep using it? Well, I'm not keeping it. In just under a month, my school's gonna be releasing the management lock off of these computers and the iPads, and I'm gonna be giving that MacBook to my mom because she uses a 12-inch Retina 2016 MacBook, which, if any of you Apple people out there know, is a pretty shitty line of MacBooks. And she's had it since 2016, so the fact that it's lasted 8 years is incredible, and it just needs to last another month, and she gets an upgrade. So she's going to be getting an upgrade to that M1 MacBook. Hopefully that'll last her another 8 years. I mean, I've already used it for just under 2, so hopefully that will last her another 8 years or something. Maybe even longer. Who knows? Because I know those things are not easy to fix, so that's going to be fun. I should also mention that her laptop has 4 gigabytes of RAM. That's a yikes. So that's what I'm doing with that. I have mentioned an iPad as well. I'm going to be using that for drawing. So I am keeping my school iPad. So I'm going to be basically still in the ecosystem with just a MacBook and an iPad. But again, I still use the freaking Google Pixel. So I'm not going back to iPhone. Very happy with switching to Android, and I'm never going to go back to iPhone. I do have backup iPhones for iCloud stuff and I guess other information. But that's basically the whole laptop escapade. I switched laptops how many times? Let's see. Asus X to Asus Q. Asus Q to MacBook Pro. MacBook Pro to HP Envy. HP Envy to Asus Q. Asus Q back to MacBook Pro. I'm not counting that time that I'm not counting the you know what? Should I count the replacement laptop? You know what? Fine. And then finally, MacBook Pro to Framework. So in about a year. So I basically switched laptops almost 10 times in the last year and a half, which is way more than anyone should be doing. It's mostly because of indecisiveness, because I keep changing what I think I'm going to be doing, and then something else comes up, and I'm like, oh, I want to do that instead. Like, for example, ow! Like, for example, the 2010 iMac is not back there anymore. I gave it to my younger sister because she should learn how to use a computer. Yeah, there was multiple things I was thinking with that. I was like, oh, I'm gonna use it as a main college computer, or just as a monitor for my PC. But you know, a lot of those plans I made last summer, and I didn't know the actual situation that was going on. So of course, as we get closer, I'm more like, oh, okay, I know what's actually gonna go down. So as of right now, just about 3 months from me moving into college, my current plan for computers is the Framework as my personal main laptop, and the MacBook Pro 2012 as my school computer, just solely for schoolwork. There's a guy called What's on Your Screen on YouTube who claims that the 13-inch 2012 Pro models will only be usable until next year. What I say to that, fuck you. It's like, bro, I'm gonna prove you wrong, dude. I'm going to use this laptop in the 2028, and you're gonna like it. Apparently, the 2015 15 inches are the best ones to get, but I'm done with spending money. I spent $50 on that goddamn Mac Mini, and I'm actually using it. So I think I'm done with spending a lot of money on electronics for a while. So, we'll see how things go. using that MacBook again is going to be interesting. Um, yeah, I'm kind of running out of things to say. I might start wrapping the video. So basically, that's uh, all the laptop stuff I've had in that length of time. And I highly doubt I'll be making any more changes. I feel like this whole framework MacBook combo duo thing is gonna work out just fine for me, with that whole work-life balance. And I guess I'll see you guys in in another video, in the next video. Goodbye.